WT here. Hey, I just wanted to check in with you guys and kind of let you know. I'm going to throw you something shocking right now. It's going to be hard for you guys to kind of believe and comprehend, but hey, I've got to get it out there. It's important information for targeted individuals to know about. And what it has to do with is at some point, I remember my wife looking different. I remember her nose looking different for about 5 or 6 days. And I wanted to say something to her, but I never did because we weren't really getting along. And it got my curiosity, and I just kept wanting to say something, but I never did. And sure enough, her appearance changed. And that's when I kind of started to notice that there might be some cloning going on. So I'm going to show you guys something that's pretty shocking tonight. And it's going to be really hard for you guys to comprehend. Some of you guys are going to be objectionable about it, and that's fine. But she is my wife. I know her nose, I know her face, and I know that this is different. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of pictures right now that are kind of shocking. So the first picture I'm going to show you is her with her hair longer, but you're going to see her nose is rounder and longer, okay, on the first picture. So that's the first picture. So I want you guys to see it really well. It's kind of hard to see. You might have to focus your YouTube channel in there and get a little better picture. Here's the second picture of her. You can see her nose is a lot pointier than the other one. The other one's a lot rounder, and this one's a lot pointier. So I'll go back again. There's her with the round nose. And there's her with the pointed nose. Okay, I've also got a couple of other pictures here. There's another picture of her, obviously with the rounder nose. Here's another picture of her with the pointier nose. So it's definitely evident that they have cloned her. And here's another picture of her with the pointier and kind of more bumpier nose that she has now. So and then I'll go back to the other picture so you guys just can see it one more time. You can see the difference. You see the difference, and you can also see there's a little bit of a difference in the eyebrow angles as well. But I just wanted to show that to you guys. It's definitely happening. They are cloning family members of targeted individuals, and I'm not sure if their consciousness is aware when they are doing things to hurt you, if they're taking evidence, if they're destroying evidence. I'm not sure if they're switching consciousness, because I know my wife's there at some points, and there's other times that I question what's going on with her. And there's been times, and I've got audio proof of this, I've asked her, I've got like 5 audios, literally probably about a half an hour long, 5 minutes to 7 minutes to 10 minutes a piece, asking her to say one nice thing about me, and she cannot do it. It's like she's programmed. She cannot say it. She finally said it. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I had been asking her that for 6 months, and she could not do it. It was crazy. And it was so hard for her to say something nice to me. It was just amazing. It was the smallest couple of sentences, but it meant the world to me. So I don't know how they're programming the clones and how they're actually, programming them to like attack us and do things to us. But just keep in mind that your loved one may still be there. They're just transferring consciousness in and out. I don't know who's taking her place, but something malevolent has definitely been taking her place, and it's not something that's nice, because there's a couple of other pictures I have of her eyes that are like slotted like a cat's eye, and it definitely looks like a reptilian. I've seen a lot of the stuff on the celebrities, when they F up and you see their eyes and they turn into the reptilian eyes, and that definitely, I've seen that on my wife several times. So it's really scary. I just wanted you guys to be aware of it. Keep in mind that they are cloning, and I have proof of it 100%. And that's not the only proof I had. They erased a lot of my other pictures, but I did have some pictures of her without a belly button as well. So it's all out there. Just wanted you guys to know that. I'm going to go ahead and continue with my book. This is part 4 of Prison X, and I'm going to go ahead and start right now. We were at the part at the end of the 4th of July. The holiday would be taken off the calendar for good, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that aside and start from there. A pair of headlamps began entering the parking lot next to the spot they had chosen to wait for Spectre. A young woman from the Italian restaurant across the street got in as the vehicle began to move out and down the road towards Denver, probably a waitress catching her ride home. It was now 10 minutes after 6 p.m. as the darkness began to completely devour anything outside the glow of their fire. As Heavy T continued where he had left off. That didn't come out very good. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. The 3-month window the Fall of the Three Eyes had given us was huge. The Awakened, under the command of Spectre and the other leaders of the Alliance, were able to set up headquarters. In fact, this would be the window where we would finally figure out how they knew who had awakened and who had not. 3 AICs had tracked Spectre and Viper, sight spotting them through night vision when they had came up from the underground transit system, following them covertly through the crowds on the streets and into a restaurant called the Buckhorn Exchange, known for its delicious steaks. They still carried money with them since going underground, awaiting the day of their freedom of the underground. It was after they exited when the AICs made their moves. One was cloned from his brother that he lost in Iraq. Therefore, once they were confronted, it was difficult to take them down. Viper finally had to give the final blow with his 9mm to the one cloned of his brother. Spectre wasn't able to process it in order to make its execution final. Then dragging the AICs 12 blocks to Reagan's, acting as if they were just drunk to any onlookers whose curiosity was stimulated. Once they arrived at Reagan's, they began to analyze their new friend's brain activity through a piece of equipment they hijacked off one of the supercomputer technicians affiliated with Xenos. The supercomputer technicians of Xenos worked for a company who was supposedly responsible for opening a portal here on Earth that allowed many more of the fallen angels through. Obviously, you guys know that's CERN, but I have to change the name. I don't want to get sued. Within a couple of days and experimenting using different techniques, they were able to finally see and expose that they were using a state-of-the-art neurosense telepathy programming in order to sense and zoom in on trinary consciousness of the individuals. Only those awakened had trinary consciousness now. All others under the mind control hypnosis and still sleeping carried only binary. After the technology breakthrough, the targeted individuals learned to adjust, you see. Spectre, Viper, and others were taught how to stay off the grid. Reagan and some other mediums taught them how to do it. Reagan was the one who initiated the new way of thinking in order to safely travel the Prison X grid and not bring attention to oneself. After we learned how, we taught others, and others taught more. The more then taught the last, until almost all the awakened or targeted individuals were able to travel through Prison X without bringing unwanted attention to themselves. It was 6:35 when the roar of Spectre's F-250 came into the parking lot that evening. Heavy T knew the sound of his truck always. Spectre turned his headlamps off and killed his engine. That is Spectre, Heavy T points towards the new truck that had entered the parking lot next to them. The driver's side door opens just as a cigarette butt spirals through the air sideways next to him. He is wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with a green Boston Bruins hockey logo on the front. His blue jeans were roughly ripped in the knee areas, giving his appearance a strong and uncaring attitude to whoever looked upon him. He then yells out towards them, "Hey, T, you there, man?" "Yes, we're here. Come on over." T rings back to him. "Cool, man," he says as he walks towards them, stepping over the wire divider separating the parking lot from the river trail. Once he gets about 4 feet from us, he stretches his hand out towards the man who dared. "I'm Spectre. It's nice to meet you," Spectre says with a cheerful voice. "Likewise," the man who dared answers. Spectre then walks towards T and outstretches his arms, as so does T, giving each other a warm, felt hug as they smile and seeing each other. "Well done," Spectre then shakes T's hand in appreciation. "Any problems?" Spectre then says. Had a team of AICs along with a terrain drone track me for a while, though I lost them using a couple of prairie rattlers in my defense, T responds. Did any of them get bitten? Spectre responds, laughing. Yeah, the controller did. They ended up having to take him back down on their bikes. T answers with a smile. No, you're kidding me. That would have been awesome to see, he grins towards him. You alright? Did you get something in your stomach? He then turns toward the man who dared. Yes, probably the best burger I've ever had. Not sure if it was just because I was so hungry or just that damn good. However, most definitely it hit the spot, the man who dared answers. Okay, good. Reagan, my wife, has also put together a dinner for all of us as well. In fact, she wants us home in about 30 minutes. Therefore, please eat more and pretend you didn't just eat if you can, alright? However, don't worry about it if you can't. She knew you'd both be hungry and would probably already eat something. We can take more when we get there. T, get your bike and back and let's get a move on. Heavy T and the man who dared pour their remaining beers into the fire, along with the water in their canteens. Then Heavy T pushes his bike towards Spectre's truck, as the man who dared walks next to Spectre, talking about the fold experience through time coming here. As Heavy T stopped briefly for a minute, their voices became murmured with the occasional chuckle from Spectre, seeming in response to what the man who dared said. Putting the empty canteens under his seat again, he continued the dark, cold path to Spectre's truck. Opening the back hatch, he pulls the ramp out and onto the asphalt below, then pushes his bike up and into the back. He then slams the back shut, making his way around to the passenger side, where the door was left open. The man who dared had already taken occupancy in the back, as Heavy T kicks the remaining dust off his shoes and hops in front next to Spectre. Spectre then takes off the emergency brake while putting it in gear, and away they go. Heavy T lifts open the glove compartment, grabbing a silver-looking bandana. He then sticks it to the metal handle, saying to the man who dared, "Look at this." The man who dared looks over the seat and says, "It's a magnetic bandana." "Yes, I need you to tie it around your head, making sure you cover your forehead and in and back right above your neck area." Taking it from Heavy T, he then says, "Okay," tying it around his head like Heavy T had instructed. Spectre then takes a long drag off his fresh-lit cigarette and says, "You must understand, being awakened elevates your spiritual energy in this realm. Though it helps strengthen your abilities of ESP, remote viewing, and clairvoyance, it is also what gives you a way to the beast's tracking abilities and finding you. How are parts of the Alliance able to communicate with other parts if computer, phone, and other communication devices have already been compromised by the beast?" the man who dared exclaims. "Well, most of the communication between the TIs or Awakened and groups like Anonymous we do using telepathic mediums. These mediums are used and trained for only using binary telepathy. Any trinary telepathy risks the chance of being hijacked, meaning no emotional thought patterns in the grid." Taking another long drag off his cigarette. Okay, that's what I have for that, and then I'm on the next chapter. This is chapter 6 here. This is called The Rendezvous Before the Fold, and this is the man who dared before he met the scientist and actually went into the future. He woke suddenly, drenched in sweat, trembling in terror, his eyes combing the hotel room in confusion, as another dark, horrifying nightmare abruptly ended his quiet sleep. The same nightmare that continued to haunt him since he was 12 years old. Sitting up, he quietly pulls his outstretched hands to his face. Still trembling, he wipes his brow from perspiration, while blinking 4 hard blinks, making sure he was awake. This twisted routine continued to happen 2 to sometimes 3 times out of each week, fracturing any relaxing, quiet, and soothing rest the man who dared crave so badly. Never ever remembering the nightmare fully, though always charaded with dark occult symbols, black cloaks, screams of terror, and clouded with pure evil. Always ending the same, with the uncanny roar of a beast in this realm, but not of this earth. An ungodly roar from the blackest pits of hell. He slides his legs off to the side of his bed, reaching upon the hotel's end table, grabbing his gold-plated Rolex, putting it around his wrist before pulling out the drawer below. A 9mm handgun lay on top of the stack of shirts. He took the handgun, laying it on the bed next to him, grabbing a silver polo shirt and placing it on the bed. He then pulls the Samsonite travel case and puts it from beneath the bed, placing it upon the end table. Opening it, he begins to pack his belongings. Today was a day he had waited for since his innocence had been stolen from him. After a life filled with darkness, secrets, and deception, he planned on giving as much back to humanity as possible. although it could never amount to the damage and destruction his family, as well as others of the Illuminati, had delivered upon this earth. His past would plague him with pain and fear in the man who dared's life from childhood, leaving him hollow, empty, and without love or compassion. In the material, he had everything, and anything he wanted was his. However, he could feel nothing in the spirit. No matter what he did, trying to fill this void inside himself by changing his daily routine and life, it would always become nullified by blackness so extreme that it covered his entire existence in this realm. Today was different. Today was a change. Today was his push back to them all, reclaiming his innocence and changing everything forever. Fear would no longer become his crutch, but now his perseverance to see it all the way through. This would be the day that changed everything. He was to meet with Gunther and Hans. They were defecting from for the weekend in order to send the man who dared folding in time to the future, 2021. The two German scientists were going to use scalar waves to create a teleportation field. The idea behind scalar wave quantum physics is if you control the scalar wave, or if you control the scalar field, you control all aspects inside the field. Once vibrations are set, they can then be moved, creating scalar potential. Scalar potential creates fourth dimension properties and can be used to fold mass through time and space. However, risk was death if any properties weren't exactly accurate once the field was created. The man who dared was not concerned with death. As far as he was concerned, he was already dead. When that cold breeze came off those Rocky Mountains this beautiful day, it was energizing, filling him with unwavering determination, knowing what needed to be done for all mankind in order to solidify the future survival on planet Earth. He was willing to sacrifice everything in order to deliver peace together with love to humanity once again. Competent in understanding the future was not yielding to the direction of light through fidelity. The man who dared knew it was darker than ever. Designed with the intention to enslave all of mankind in order to serve his dark family's desires of control, while feeding lower vibrations and emotions to the fallen angels. His eyes close slowly as he takes a deep breath, then walks to the window of his hotel room. Opening it tightly, after pulling the cord and raising the blinds, the light of the morning sunrise blasts through the room with golden splendor. Gazing out upon the distant Rocky Mountains, its radiant shine combs over his face and body, drowning the darkness of his horrible nightmare from him. A calmness washes over him as the brilliance of this day's sunrise touches the tips of the mountains in the distance. This calmness would prove trivial as it would stick with him, carrying his willingness to fight for humanity against unyielding odds. Looking down at his watch, the time reads 6:12 a.m. The sparkling diamond surrounded by his family's crest reflects the bright sun now shining through the hotel room. Around the golden-handed clock within, Hans and Gunther were meeting him at the hotel around 8:30 a.m. to send him forward in time to the year 2021. After taking a shower, he then gets dressed. Grabbing his keys and wallet from the lounge seat end table, he opens the hotel door to grab a bite for breakfast. Looking up in the blue sky above the day, it's evidence of a barn burner with not a cloud to be seen. After almost burning his hand on the recently purchased Pontiac Tempest he bought a year ago in 1960 when pulling the door handle, it was already in the 80-degree range, he figured so far. Sitting down and opening his glove compartment, he fumbles his wallet and it falls to the floorboard. 320s and a picture tumble out loosely before him. Putting the money back in his wallet, he then looks at the picture. A tear then slowly slides down his cheek as he remembers it all. She was perfect. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the next chapters another time, but I just wanted to throw that part 4 out at you guys, and I'm praying for you guys. You know, I mean, you know what I'm going through, obviously. So, I mean, your stories can't be much worse. And I'm going to stop at nothing to bring this out, and I have nothing to lose except my life. So, and I don't care about that. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm moving on to the next chapter. So, I have nothing to lose, and I'm not scared of these people at all. And, you know, I'm gonna just keep pushing and fighting and moving forward. And I'm gonna keep hiding things and taking evidence and throwing it to people and sliding it here and sliding it there, and they're never going to actually catch me. And if they do take me down eventually, if they do decide to, you know, finally kill me or something like that, it all comes out. So either way I win, and I've never lost a fight in my life, and I will never lose this fight either. And they obviously know that, or they wouldn't be going through such extremes to keep tabs on me. And if they're cloning my family members, then obviously they know something in the future that obviously that I do that brings something out to the open. So I just want you guys all to know that, you know, you're not alone. I'm here. You know, pray to God. You know, Jesus Christ is inside you. His love, you know, bring his love to you guys. Shield yourselves from the black magic that they use. If you're a child of God, they can't touch you. You're untouchable. So go with that, and you know, show them no fear, and take all your power back, and use that power to bring love and just radiance to everybody else around you. And you know, try not to let their let the anger and the morose you know, mindset, you know, get you down, and just keep moving forward, guys. You guys, I really love all you guys. I wish we could all like be together and talk and stuff. They do so much to keep us apart. So, but someday, you know, we're all going to be, you know, in paradise together. So, my prayers are with you, and you guys have yourselves a good night. Heavy tea. Take care.